Why Swiss money looks weird. All right, so I've done quite a few Swiss videos over the past couple of weeks, and the country looks absolutely stunning. Beautiful cities, beautiful mountains, but I also hear that it is really expensive. So this makes a lot of sense that your guys' money looks weird. There's a lot of focus on the money with how expensive it is. I'm totally kidding. I don't think I've actually seen any type of Swiss bill before though, so I'm curious. The recommendation came in from one of the viewers. Thanks for sending it my way. He said that you guys are changing your money pretty soon. So I was like, this kind of sparked my interest. I want to take a look. And here we are. I really wish the US would change our money here. It's so boring. They all look the exact same. I think I've seen like some, is it India or maybe Japanese money or Chinese money? Like the bills are also different colored. It's really, really cool. Ours are all just green and have our founding fathers on it. So buckle up, let's dive in and see what's going on with Swiss money.
Swiss money doesn't obey the rules. First of all, it's f***ing vertical.
Okay, first up, this is your guys' money. This looks so badass. Holy cow. I like how it's vertical. That's really, really cool. It's got so much color in it. What is this? It's kind of hard to see. What is that? It's like a walkway, like a bridge that's kind of on fire or something. The only thing that's fire is this money. This stuff looks cool. I want some of this.
Most currencies like the dollar, euro, and yen opt for a landscape design, but Switzerland is the exception.
Dude,
From the humble
what?
10 franc bill to the elusive 1,000 franc note, Swiss.
These, this is kind of crazy. Some of my esoteric knowledge might come in here with the hand signals that they're doing. Maybe this is more popular in Switzerland that I don't really know, but what is it? What's it called? Not mantra, when you do the hand signs. Anyway, let's keep going. The money looks absolutely amazing. Really, really cool.
Cash towers over its contemporaries. In
All
classical
hands.
Swiss fashion, each bill is also overloaded with security features, making the Swiss franc one of the most difficult currencies in the world to counterfeit. The design of the bills themselves is perhaps the most
Nuts.
intriguing though. Unlike most other nations who choose to display portraits of influential politicians, monarchs, or founding figures, the Swiss franc depicts hands? Why does Swiss money look so weird?
It does look a little weird, but it looks really, really cool.
The question of why they opted for verticality is a deceptively simple one to answer. It makes them easier to count and differentiate. Banknotes around the world typically grow proportionally larger at high denominations, making it difficult to assess at a glance how much money you're holding. Swiss cash, however, expands only vertically.
That's so cool.
New York Times' John Tagliabue, most people exchange money while standing, and it is intuitively easier to hold and read a bill vertically while doing so.
Leave it to the Swiss to actually figure this out. Not figure it out, I feel like most of us know it, but they're like, hey, yeah, when you hand someone a bill, you don't hand it sideways. Usually you hand it forward or vertical. You don't hand it horizontal. I mean, maybe, but it makes so much sense. That's nuts.
Solely restricting the growth of the notes to height provides a visually clearer spread of money, particularly when fanned out, and it also makes it easier for visually impaired people, as their shapes are more distinctive and thus easier to sort through. Additionally, the consistent width of each bill means that Swiss cash fits snugly into any wallet, without certain larger denomination notes sticking out at the top. It is, of course, also just cool. No doubt a consideration in the design process was the unique silhouette and its ability to stand out on a global stage and push a narrative of Swiss exceptionalism, a concept we'll return to later in the video. When Switzerland first introduced its vertical currency in 1995, it became the first paper money ever to be designed on a computer, and its security features were seen as so advanced and numerous that according to the New York Times, it became a parlor game to try and spot the more than 20 anti-counterfeit measures integrated into the design. Undoubtedly, Switzerland's newly acquired position as one of the world's leading financial centers incentivized the Swiss National Bank to depict the nation on the cutting edge of monetary security. The franc provided an ideal, highly circulated canvas upon which to prove this. Optics aside, there were good reasons to future-proof the Swiss franc, as it was at the time, and still is, regarded as a, quote, safe haven currency.
Safe haven currency. You know what's pretty wild is a lot of very, very wealthy Americans, I guess people all over the world, isn't Switzerland where they kind of like do their banking or like hide their money at? It has to do something with the laws. Hold on, I gotta look at this really quick. Okay. So it says wealthy people store or hide money in Switzerland for a few key reasons, rooted in the country's historical, legal, and economic framework. Number 1, banking secrecy laws. Number 2, political and economic stability. Number 3, tax advantages. That's probably, I would imagine that's number 1. I guess the secrecy though. Let's see here. The law made it a criminal offense for banks to disclose client information without consent, except in specific cases like criminal investigations. Okay. Financial expertise. Yep. All right. So we got some financial expertise, historical precedent, and offshore banking. Swiss accounts allow for diversification of assets outside one's home country, reducing exposure to local economic or political risks. Interesting. Yeah, I guess they're not necessarily like hiding it there. It's just you have a lot more confidentiality there. So pretty interesting. It's always in all the movies. So I was just a little curious. All right, let's hop back into the video.
The political and economic stability of Switzerland helped fend off currency volatility, and as a result, many foreign investors who sought to safeguard their wealth against inflation would often purchase large quantities of Swiss francs. Many would avoid storing their money in banks and instead opted to withdraw it and retain large quantities of physical bills. The 1,000 franc banknotes were, as a result, highly sought after. Space efficient and highly valuable, one would not have to purchase a particularly large safe to squirrel away a veritable fortune.
Yeah, if you have $1,000 bills, oh, not dollar, 1,000 Swiss francs, what's the conversion rate for Swiss? 1.2376 USD. So 1 Swiss franc is $1.2. Pretty close. So yeah, if you have $1,000, I keep saying dollar. If you have 1,000 franc bills, even if we had $1,000 bills, yeah, you'd be able to store so much more. I think we had $500 bills at once, but we don't have them anymore.
A staggering 77% of Switzerland's printed currency was actually held abroad by foreigners as a store of value.
That's nuts. 77% in 1996?
In this 1938 500 franc bill, we can see a chemist in his laboratory exploring the frontiers of a nascent scientific field. And on this 1976 version of the 100 franc note is depicted the Ticino-born architect Francesco Borromini, with his design of the Baroque Santivo Church in Rome. Finally, in this 1948 1,000 franc note, the veiled spectre of death looms in the background of life. A lifeless child slumped over his bony forearm.
We got a little Saturn mythology going on here, or he goes by very many different names. Yeah, surprisingly, Saturn is, or you could call him Death, is in a lot of money, culture, government, what's it called? Government, like flags, things like that.
The latter design, morbid as it is, was meant to communicate that death is as much part of life as birth, an inevitability that must be accepted. This artistic spread was named the Dance Macabre.
That's so cool.
These early iterations of the Swiss franc reflect traditions within the Swiss socio-political consciousness, the veneration of the sciences, of the arts, and in the case of the depiction of death's immutable influence on life, of philosophy.
You know, I just want to say shout out to Imperial, the channel. I'll have the link down in the description below. Doing a great job with the video here. Absolutely amazing.
The most recent designs, released from 2016 onwards, forego portraits entirely and instead focus on the theme cosmopolitan Switzerland expressed through hands. They are far more conceptual than their predecessors. Each bill depicts, in order from lowest to highest denomination, organization, creativity, wealth of experiences, humanitarianism, scientific expertise, and finally, communication. These
so cool.
are idealized encapsulations of Switzerland, the way the Alpine state wants to portray itself to the world. I do, however, think that it goes a little deeper than that, beyond a simple manifestation of cultural projection. It is my interpretation that these bills and the emission of portraits are a means through which to reinforce a tangible national character, and that they are tokens of patriotism. Nationalism, if you'd like to approach it cynically. Switzerland, as the anthropologist Regina Bendix puts it, lacks any sort of heroes or martyrs to lift on pedestals as national icons, or in this case, print on the face of its bills. Even William Tell, Switzerland's most recognizable hero of folklore, embodying Swiss liberty, is tellingly relegated to one 25 franc coin minted in 1955.
I'm not sure if I would really say it's promoting patriotism if it's removing historical figures. I mean, I could be wrong. It kind of seems like it's going in the opposite direction, but I like his analysis. It's a good thought, but to me I would feel like, patriotism comes a lot more from the identity of, political figures, or not even just major figures that have been in the history.
Switzerland lacks a foundational conflict to motivate a strong sense of nationalism. The United States had the American Revolutionary War, France had the French Revolution, and the United Kingdom more recently had its resilience in the face of adversity during World War II. These events and conflicts and the key figures surrounding them are often depicted on currency in their respective countries because they are identifiable symbols of unity. Most countries on the African continent can draw some of their unity from a collective struggle against colonial rule and discrimination. It is why South Africa's rand immortalizes Nelson Mandela, why the Algerian dinar commemorates leaders of the Algerian independence movement.
Okay, so yeah, he's given some more context now, so I see where he's going with it.
In these conditions, the Swiss state had to work hard to differentiate itself to survive, developing a tradition of neutrality, establishing specialized handicraft industries, a unique democratic system, and shining in the field of science, art, and philosophy. It is this mythos upon which the modern Swiss franc draws its iconography. In place of a monarch, a president, or a revolutionary leader, of which Switzerland has no truly influential substitute, are depicted these encapsulations of Swiss exceptionalism, of unique ideals that supposedly helped propel average old Switzerland to prosperity. Switzerland is also a state of diverse cultures and languages, and as a result, no single individual or event can fully embody the nation on a banknote. Thus, the currency turns to the idea of Switzerland with all of its exaggerations and embellishments, and indeed the typically uncritical myopia of narratives of nationhood. I think this is also why the euro, for example, lacks portraits on its bills.
The euro money looks horrendous compared to Swiss francs. Look at that. It just looks so bland and plain. Francs look absolutely amazing. This is my favorite money, hands down.
Geopolitical entity as diverse linguistically and culturally as the European Union, any one person cannot possibly be representative of the whole bloc. It is better to invoke an idealized, aspirational version of the state when attempting to represent it on currency. Switzerland has taken that line of thinking and run with it. Swiss money is adorned with scientific imagery, beautiful vistas dotted with mountain ranges, abstractions of artistic endeavor, and allusions to neutrality. Cool. Previous designs of the Swiss franc did include people, but I think they too were meant to represent Switzerland's ideals rather than themselves act as national figures. They were conduits to exemplify Swiss exceptionalism, all of them creatives and scientists, not generals, political leaders, or revolutionaries, just regular individuals with exceptional skills. which, if you think about it, is about as close to a human manifestation of the mythos of Switzerland as you can get.
I like that. That's it's a unique approach to creating money, and it's so different from every other country. I really wish that we could do something like that with some of our money here in the States, but I might just have to go to Switzerland and store a bunch of $1,000 bills when I come back home. Bring them back home with me. Actually, I wonder if I can fly with them. You might not be able to. I don't think you can only travel with a certain amount of money when you fly, right?
Also seen in a lack of a common religion and its relative economic backwardness meant that a coherent Swiss nationalism did not appear until around 1891. By this point, many other nations had codified
on the Jubilee year. That's hilarious. Of course, it was
national characters through linguistic or ethnic homogeneity. Switzerland had not. But since it was a latecomer, it was instead able to construct a modern nationalism, a vision of the nation not based off of heroes or martyrs associated with the dominant ethnic class or shared past glories, but of ideals that bridge linguistic and ethnic chasms. Organization, creativity, wealth of experiences, humanitarianism, scientific expertise, and communication.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely loved it. This is really, I feel like I learned so much. I feel like I gotta watch it again. You know, I'm just your dumb American. You used a lot of big words there. I'm just kidding. No, I got the point. And just very unique, really cool, and obviously the best looking money out of any country in the entire world. Unless somebody's got something they want to share with me, another country in Europe that does it better than the Swiss, let me know in the comments. Other than that, appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.